मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, so welcome everyone. Thank you for joining at this time. We are continuing our discussion from Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 4. We are in chapter 22. Last time we discussed till verse number 20, verse number 19. Now we have heard in this chapter so far, Ritu Maharaj, he milked the earth in the form of a cow. He leveled the earth. Then he had a big fight with Indra. Ultimately, Lord appeared, Brahmaji appeared, pacified Prithu Maharaj. He was satisfied with 99. Pritho Kirte Pritho Bhuyat. Then he came back to his kingdom, instructed his citizens very nicely on various intricacies of dharma and bhakti. Now, in this chapter, we are hearing Prithu Maharaj, he meets the four Kumaras headed by Sanat Kumar. In last class, we heard Prithu Maharaj, when he sees these four Kumaras, he's so very obliged. He feels I'm so fortunate. I don't deserve to see these great personalities because even greatest of the yogis can't see them. I'm so fortunate that all of you have blessed my home. He glorifies them in wonderful way. And then he tells, when you meet a saintly person, you should ask, how am I? You should not ask, who are you? Because he says there is no question of asking you. Bhavatsu kushla prashna atma rameshu na ishyate. There is no question asking you because you are Atma Ram. And you are only interested in benefiting others. So he asks, can you please tell me how can I perfect my life? So that is the question he asks these four Kumaras. So this question he asks in the seventh verse. So no, not in the seventh verse. He asks the question, yeah, in 13th verse. He says, can there be any good fortune for people like us who are absorbed in sense gratification, fallen in the samsara by their own activities, patita swakarma bhi? So now in the 19th verse, sorry, 20th, we did till 20 verse.
Probably 19 verse was compared.
Okay. So we have done till 19. So now, okay. So the four Kumaras, they start answering the question. I'll share this. So now Sanat Kumar, he is replying the question of Prithu Maharaj, who says, can there be any good fortune for people like us? Astyeva Rajan Bhavato Madhudvisha. You can recite this. Nice verse it is.
Rajan Bhavato Madhudvisha
Adarabindasya Gunanuvadane
आधारविन्दस्य गुणानुवादने
Ratirudurapa Vidhunoti Naishtiki
प्रतिरनुरागविन्दनोति नैष्टिकी
Kamam Kashayam Malamantaratmanah.
कामं कषायं मदरन्तरात्मनः.
Sanat Kumara continued, My dear king, you already have an inclination to glorify the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality Godhead. Such attachment is very difficult to achieve. But when one has attained such unflinching faith in the Lord, it automatically cleanses lusty desires from the core of the heart.
So he says, you are asking for your fortune and you are saying that you are attached to your family life. You are actually detached from all the lusty desires. He says, Asti evam Rajan, O King Prithu, Bhavata, you have attained attachment for Madhudvisha Padarvinda. You have attained an inclination for Gunanuvadane. You have attained the attraction and attachment for glorifying the pastimes of Lord. This pastime, this attachment, this rati, which you have developed, it is durapa. It is very rare to see. It is not so easy to develop such attachment which you have developed to glorify the qualities of the Lord. And this attachment, this glorification of the Lord, what it does, vidhunoti, it completely washes away all the kamam kashayam mala, all the contaminations which is there, antaratmana. Antaratma means whatever kashaya, whatever attachment and contamination is there in the antahkarana, in the mind, intelligence, ego, and chitta, it is all purified. Satam prasangam mamviri samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana katha tadjoshanadashu apavargvartmani shraddharati bhakti anupravishyati. So this attachment to glorify the name, form, pastimes of the Lord, it cleanses away all the desires. Now, so Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse. By association with devotees, dirty things within the hearts of a materialistic man are gradually vanquished. Just like a silver is polished, similarly, the heart of a materialistic person is cleansed by association. That is the polish. Unless silver is polished, it doesn't become shiny. So we have to go through that pain of being polished. Nobody likes to be polished. It is not so easy. घिसाई किसी को पसंद नहीं है, घिसना तो पड़ेगा भाई, घिसेंगे नहीं, unless we work hard, we won't come out shining. That is the whole story of Damodar Leela which is happening in this month. Swamato Swinnagatraya Vistrashta Gavarasraja Drishtva Parishramam Krishna Kripaya Sitva Bandhane. When Krishna saw the struggle of Mother Yashoda, the endeavor of Mother Yashoda, Parishrama, then he agreed to be bound. Actually, living being has no connection with this material enjoyment or with lusty desires. He is simply imagining or dreaming while asleep. This example has come many times in Bhagavatam. By association of pure devotees, he is awakened. Jiva jago, jiva jago. When one wakes up, then he realizes, oh, all my dream, it was all dream. And the dream it is of no importance. It is not worth discussing a dream. So it is all waste of time. So as soon as one is situated in his glory, mukti, hitvanyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. When one is situated in this swamahimni sthitasya, when one is situated in his own glory, what is the glory of a soul? Jivera swarupohoy krishnera nityadas. That is the glory of a soul. Constitutional position of servant. That is the glory. Apart from this, there is no glory to the spirit soul. So Prithu Maharaj, he was already a self-realized soul. He had no inclination for any other thing but glorification of the name, form, pastimes of the Lord. So Kumaras, They are actually assuring you will never fall down. Oh, Prithu Maharaj, because he very humbly asked, how can we come out of this family life? What is the hope for us? They are saying you're already purified soul, you're already liberated being. Don't worry about it. This is the mood of every devotee. A devotee never feels that अब तो हो गया, अब तो हम शुद्ध भक्त बन ही गए. Now I am just about to become purified soul. थोड़ा बहुत बचा है वो भी चला जाएगा 1-2 साल में. No, a devotee never feels that he or she is now purified soul. Gaur Govind Maharaj, he would tell, our mission always remains unaccomplished. None of the devotees says, Mil gaye Bhagwan. Even Goswamis are telling, Hey Radhe, Brajdevi ke Chalite, Henanda Suno Pata. So that is, of course, the humility of a great personality. So Prithu Maharaj is also saying in his humble way that what is the hope for me? So the Kumaras are assuring him there was no chance of his falling because he is attached to glorification. In other words, the process of hearing and chanting is the only means to clarify the heart. Pravishta Karna Randrena Swanam Bhavasaroruham Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna. As the sound vibration, the name form pastimes of Krishna enters the ear, goes to the heart is purified. By process of karma jnana yoga, no one will succeed in driving away the contamination from the heart. That is very important. All the other paths, they are like cleaning the water by moving alum in the water. Some of us have used, some of us, pitkiri, alum. What happens? All the impurities get settled. They are still there. That's what happens in the 6th canto. परीक्षित महाराज says इन लोगों का उद्धार कैसे होगा, बेचारे नरक में दुख झेल रहे हैं. Oh, they'll do karma कांड, they'll do atonement, no? Oh, that is elephant breathing. Okay, Venugulmam Ivanala, Gyanam Marga. Oh, where is there Venugulmam? The roots are still intact. Only by taking shelter of Krishna. Kechit Kevalaya Bhakti Bhaktya. Only by Bhakti unto Vasudeva. Agham Dhanvanti. All the sins and sinful mentality are purified. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, you ask what is beneficial for yourself. But you already have what is most beneficial. You have fixed attachment to the Lord. Lust is like a material dye which cannot be removed. Attachment to the chanting of Lord's qualities removes that dye completely. Some types of dyes, they are very difficult to remove. That's the material lust. That is the dye. That raga, which is there which is covering the eye, that layer is very difficult to destroy. But bhakti has the power. You have that attachment to the Supreme Lord, so therefore you can never be contaminated. Priyavrat Maharaj, he was brahmachari, then he got married, he enjoyed his life, still he was detached. He gave up his kingdom. So Parikshit asked, how is this possible? First of all, he became entangled. And then again he became free. How is it that he became entangled first of all? He was a brahmachari. And after becoming married, how is it that he didn't get attached to it? So therefore, Swami says that is not a big problem for a pure devotee of the Lord. Bhayam pramattasya vaneshwapi syad yatasya aste sashat sapatna. Out of fear of material existence, if somebody goes to forest, he doesn't go alone. He goes with 6 wives. Mind and the 5 senses. But Jitendriyasyaatmarati buddhasya grihashramam kim nu karoti avadya. A person who is self-controlled, self-satisfied, and intelligent. Oh, he'll not be affected by material contaminations. He is attached to the Lord. Then the four Kumaras, they start answering Ritu Maharaj's question. 15th verse. In the 15th verse, Ritu Maharaj, the four Kumaras, Ritu Maharaj, he told, I am completely assured that personalities like you are the only friends for people who are blazing in the fire of material existence. I therefore ask you, how in this material world we can very soon achieve the ultimate goal of life? That was the question Ritu Maharaj asked. So now, in 21st verse onwards, the Sanat Kumaras, four Kumaras headed by Sanat Kumar, starts answering this question. I'll recite this verse. Shastreshu yane varshunishchito nrinam shemasya sadrak vimrisheshu hetu asanga atma vyatirikta atmani dridharatir brahmani nirgune chaya. Translation.
It has been conclusively decided in the scriptures, after due consideration, that the ultimate goal for the welfare of human society is detachment from the bodily concept of life and increased and steadfast attachment for the Supreme Law, who is transcendental beyond the modes of material nature.
Just a minute. Okay. So now here, four Kumaras, they start replying, says, Srishtasya, Srishteshu, in the, Shastreshu, in all the scriptures, Shastreshu, there is only one cause of benefit given. Shemasya. Shema means the highest benefit which one can have in this material world as prescribed by scriptures. Shastreshu iyan eva. There is only one way. There is no other path. Shunishchita, it is concluded. Sunishchita, not just nishchit. Sunishchit, positively concluded. For all the human society, it is positively concluded by all the scriptures that Shema, the ultimate welfare, this is given by Vimrisheshu, by full consideration. Scriptures, after their full consideration, they are giving this conclusion. What is that conclusion? Asanga Atma Vyatirikta Atmani. There are two ways. There is only one cause of benefit. What is that? Asanga, first, become detached from the material world. And Dridharati Brahmani Nirgune. First, get detached from the material world and get attached to Krishna. That is the only conclusion of all the scriptures after complete deliberation. There is no other better path. Detachment from the bodily concept of life and Dridharati Brahmani Nirgune. Increased and steadfast attachment to the Supreme Lord who is Nirguna, who is beyond the material modes. That is the only thing which can give benefit to a person in this material world. Prabhupada writes, everyone in human society is ultimately engaged in, everyone in human society is engaged for the ultimate benefit. Everybody wants benefit, but they don't know how to get that benefit. To get benefit, people, they try material ways. But those material ways, they give only little benefit. That is called as Shreya and prayer. They are only working for prayer. Short-term goals, short-term benefit, no Shreya. So people who are in materialistic understanding, bodily conception of life, they can never understand what is the Shreyas, what is Shreyaskar for them. What is their highest goal? तस्यैव हेतो प्रयतेत कोविदो न लभ्यते यद भ्रमतां पर्यदः तल्लभ्यते दुःखवदन्यतः सुखं कालेन सर्वत्र गभीररमसा. Don't endeavor for things of the world. They are available in every species of life. Endeavor for that which is not available in all the 14 planetary systems. Tasyeva hetu. Only one hetu one should endeavor for. Prayatet, prayatna. For what? Get the lotus feet of Krishna. Tat prayaso na kartabhyo. Don't endeavor for material things. Ask only one question. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Kiyami kene amara jare tapatraye. What is sadhan and what is sadhya? That is the ultimate questions which we need to ask. These are the questions which Sanatana Goswami asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kiyami kene amara jare tapatraye. What is the ultimate sadhana and sadhya? So Prabhupada writes, by evolutionary process, one cannot understand the ultimate goal of life. Just by spending time in various species cannot guarantee one advancement in spirituality. When one starts inquiring, Kayami, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, and this Jigyasa comes only when one comes in association of devotees. Otherwise, Bahujanma, one person, Abrahma Bhuvanaloka Punaravartino Arjun. Living entities wandering, Brahmanda Bhramite, Kona Bhagyavan, Guru Krishna Kripaya Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. To increase attachment for Brahman means to engage in devotional service. Those who are attached to impersonal Brahman cannot remain attached for long. Impersonalists, because they have rejected the personal form of God. Their ultimate destination is very troublesome. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, Klesho adhikatarastesham avyakta asakta chetasam avyakta hi gati dukkham dehavadbhiravapyate. Their path is troublesome and their end is also troublesome. That is for Brahmavadis. Mayavadis, to end is hellish because they are rejecting the form of the Lord. They have a hellish destination. Chakravarti Thakur writes, I must answer your question. You want to hear the what is beneficial? Please hear what is the most beneficial thing for a living entity. So it says, many scriptures have been reviewed so that there can be no opposition to conclusion. Somebody may say, Acha, baki sabko, you are studying only one scripture. What about others? You have studied only Bhagavatam. What about others? When Parikshit Maharaj, he left everything, sitting on the bank of Ganga, all the sages, they assembled and they started discussing because Parikshit asked a question. What is the duty of a person who is about to die? And what is the duty of a person anyways? What one should hear, chant, remember, and what one should not. Everybody started discussing. There were yogis, jnanis, bhakta. Everybody was discussing. Nobody was coming to conclusion till the time Shukdev Goswami came. He gave the ultimate conclusive answers. After reviewing all the scriptures, this is the conclusion. Scriptures not thoroughly examined will be opposed by someone or other. Yan eva means that the final conclusion has been definitely reached. Very, very powerful words this is. The final conclusion has been definitely reached And one need not again review many scriptures for this purpose. This is the ultimate conclusion of Sanat Kumar, who is giving the ultimate conclusion of all the scriptures. No other need, no other, there is no need to review other scriptures again. This is the ultimate conclusion. So now, after that, he continues. He elaborates on detachment and attachment. So in 22 to 36, in these verses, now Sanat Kumar, he is going to describe Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Because he is himself not purified, pure devotee yet. He is a Jnana Mishra Bhakta. So he is describing Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Predominantly Bhakti, but mixed with Jnana. And this gives Shantarati. That's the destination of those who are practicing Jnana Mishra Bhakti. So in 22nd verse, 22nd, 23rd, 24, in 3 verses, he describes attachment to the Lord and detachment from the body. How to develop these two things. We'll recite this verse. Sa Shraddhaya Bhagavat Dharma Charyaya Jigyasaya Adhyatmika Yoga Nishtaya Yogeshwaropasanaya cha nityam Punyashrava Kathaya Punyaya cha
Attachment for the Supreme can be increased by practicing devotional service, inquiring about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, applying Bhakti Yoga in life, worshipping the Yogeshwara, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and by hearing and chanting about the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These actions are pious in themselves.
So how detachment to matter from matter and attachment to Krishna will happen? So in these 4 verses, 22 to 26, he speaks about the prominence of bhakti. He says, attachment of Supreme Lord can be increased. How? Sa Shraddhaya Bhagavad Dharma Charyaya. By practicing devotional service, Sa Shraddhaya, with faith and conviction. By faith and conviction, if somebody is practicing devotional service, what else one should do? Jigyasyaya. Inquire, jigyasa, tato brahma jigyasa, about whom? About the Supreme Lord. Jigyasaya adhyatmika yoga nishtaya. This is important. Jigyasa should be mixed with devotion. Yoga nishtaya. By conviction in spiritual understanding, yoga nishtha. By applying bhakti yoga. And what else? Applying bhakti yoga. That is devotion. Worship who? Yogeshwara Upasanaya. Worship the Supreme Lord Yogeshwara. When to worship? Nityam. Regularly. How to worship? Punya Shrava Kathaya. By hearing and chanting the pious activities of the Lord. These actions of hearing and chanting the glories of the Lord, they are very pious. So that's how he's emphasizing on the bhakti. Prabhupada writes, Yogeshwar means the Supreme Lord. And of course, Yatra Yogeshwara. Yogeshwara and Yogeshwara. Yogeshwara is Krishna, the master of all the yoga. Yogeshwara means the master of all the yogis, the best of all the yogis. That's called as Yogeshwara. So Yogeshwar Upasana means to render service to a devotee. So Prabhupada writes, Same Yukta Tamo Mataha Yoginam Api Sarvesham. Of all the yogis, the best yogi, he is a devotee of the Lord. He is also called Yogeshwar. Prabhupada writes that devotee is also Yogeshwar. He is the best of the yogis. Yogeshwar Upasana means worshipping and serving the pure devotee of the Lord. So Prabhupada brings out a deeper understanding of what is bhakti. So Prabhupada, if you see in his purports, he does not go into the technical details of the purports of the verses. He focuses on the essence because he understands in Kali Yuga, majority will not be able to understand the technical details of scriptures. So therefore, better to give them the essence. Any book, any page, any purport they start reading, they should get the ultimate essence. They should know what to do in life. So Prabhupada gives the essence in every purport. He says, Yogeshwara Upasana means serving the devotee of the Lord. Chadya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Paiche Keva. Unless one does Pada Rajobhishekam, one cannot get devotion to the Lord. To serve the topmost devotee means to hear from him about the glories. That is another angle, another aspect of serving. How can I serve these great devotees? I have no direct access to them. All these great acharyas, great spiritual masters, great devotees, I have no access to them. How can I render service? This is the secret living. Now, the topmost devotee means to hear from him about the glories of the Supreme Lord. And now, okay, sun liya na. That's the end. No. Prabhupada gives the sequence. To hear the glories of the Lord from mouth of a pure devotee means a pious life. Mold your life according to what we hear from devotees. That is very important. So Prabhupada brings down to a very simple what is devotion, what it means to serve. Serving the devotee means to hear from them about the Lord. And hearing about the Lord means to mold your life in a way so that we can live a sinless life. Because without sinless life, one cannot practice determined bhakti. Dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrata. To become fixed in devotional service, one has to become completely cleansed from the contamination of the modes. So first thing is Guru Pada. Then from them, inquire from him, Sadharma Pricha. Then Sadhu Marganugamanam. These are the first three limbs of 64 limbs given by Rupa Goswami. Adav Guru Padashraya, Sadharma Pricha, and Sadhu Marganugamanam. These three are the beginning of our spiritual practices. So conclusion is that to increase attachment for the Lord, one has to accept the Guru, learn from him, hear from him. In this way, increase one's conviction. Then it will be very easy to increase attachment. Okay. He continues in the next verse. I'll recite this verse. Arthendriyaram sagoshtya trishnaya tatsammatanam aparigrahena cha viviktaruchya paritosha atmani vina harer guna piyusha panat. Translation.
One has to make the progress in the spiritual life by not associating with the persons who are simply interested in the sense gratification and making money. Not only such persons, but one who associates with such persons should be avoided. one should mold his life in such a way that he cannot live in the peace without drinking the nectar of the glorification of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, Hari. One can be thus elevated by being the disgusted with the taste for sense enjoyment.
Yes. If one wants to make progress in spiritual life, what one has to do? Arthya Indriya Arama. One should Sagoshthi Atrishna. Atrishna means one should never be interested in Goshthi, in companionship, in association of people who are Artha Indriya Aram, who are simply interested in two things, Artha and Indriya Aram. मतलब वर्ड भी अच्छा है ना, इंद्रियों को बहुत आराम देते हैं, इंद्रियों को पूरा रिलैक्स रखते हैं, मजा कर देते हैं, इंद्रिय आराम. You should never be interested in associating with that person. Artha Indriya Arama Sagoshthi Atrishna. Atrishna means reluctant. Because Tatsammatanam Aparigrahena cha. We should not associate with those people who associate with such people. Anyone remembers anywhere else such similar thing has come up? We have heard this? Any verse or any meaning, paraphrase? Can anyone do that? Where we have heard this? Association with sense gratification or sense gratifier, or those who are associating with sense gratifier. Three things: wish, vishaya, and vishayi. And the fourth thing is those who are associating with vishayi. So one should not associate with money, sense gratification. One should not associate with people who are interested in such people. Never. Tatsammatanam aparigrahena. Aparigrahena means one should not accept their association. Viviktaruchya paritosha atmani. If one does so, what happens? One can be elevated. How one will be elevated? By being disgusted with the taste for sense enjoyment. The more one avoids Vishaya and Vishayi, one will be disgusted. One will be disgusted with the taste of sense enjoyment. And without being disgusted with the sense enjoyment, one cannot relish the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. This is very important. Vina harer guna piyushapana. One should mold his life in such a way that he cannot live in peace without drinking the nectar of glorification of the Supreme Lord. This is wonderful translation which Prabhupada is giving. This is like one of the wonderful best translations. One should mold his life in such a way that he cannot live in peace without drinking the nectar of the Supreme Lord. सुनने को नहीं मिला तो one should become restless. आज कथा नहीं सुना. Oh, I'm restless. So this restlessness one should develop. One should mold the life in such a way that one becomes restless. कि आज कथा नहीं सुना, आज भागवतम नहीं पढ़ा. Restlessness. न यत्र वैकुंठ कथा सुधापगान साधवो भागवता सदाश्रया न यत्र यज्ञेश मखामहोत्सवा सुरेश लोकोऽपि न वैश सेव्यताम्. A devotee is not interested in staying in a place where Krishna Katha is not there, where association is not there, where festivals are not happening for glorifying the Lord. So devotee should plan their life in such a way that ye milta rahe. Because Taddinam durdinam manye megha channam na durdinam taddinam Krishna sanlapa katha piyush varjitam. What is inauspicious day? Generally, when the sun is not seen, covered by clouds, that day is inauspicious. But this verse says that day is not inauspicious. Krishna Sanlapa Katha Piyush is not there, that day is inauspicious. If you are not able to hear Hari Katha, that is an auspicious day. Prabhupada writes. In the material world, everyone is interested in money and sense gratification. That is the only objective. That's how Shukdev Goswami says, Nidraya naktam vyavayena chavavaya divacha arthe haya rajam kutumba bharanenava. That is a typical example of materialistic life. Work hard and enjoy. Then Prabhupada writes, things are degraded to such an extent that those who are opposed to be religious are also at the moment interested only in sense gratification. In the name of spirituality and religiosity, people are just engaging in sense gratification. That's why Narad Muni was condemning Vyasdev. What you have done? People in Kali Yuga are already interested in sense gratification, and you have given them a bona fide way to enjoy. Jugupsitam dharma kritenu shashata swabhavaraktasya mahan vyatikrama. So even in the name of religiosity, people are just interested in sense gratification. Therefore, one who practices bhakti, one has to develop detachment. Bhakti, para isha anubhava, and virakti has to come. To advance in devotional service, one should be uninterested in materialistic way of life. That which is subject matter of satisfaction for the devotees is of no interest to non-devotees. Which verse says this? What is interested for devotees is of no interest to non-devotees. Any similar verse anybody has heard?
Tasyam Jagrati Bhutani, something. Sadhus.
Yes.
Ya
Yanisha
Nisha.
sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisha pashyato mune. What is interesting for a devotee is not interesting for a non-devotee. So that's how one should give up association of materialistic people. His Prabhupada writes, we must have this eagerness. Simple negation will not do. We must have engagements also. हाँ ये नहीं करना है अरे नहीं करना है नहीं ऐसा नहीं चलेगा. You should be actively engaged, eager to serve Krishna. नहीं कुछ है नहीं करने के लिए लेकिन ये नहीं करना है. Oh, that will not last long. Saying no to Maya is not sufficient. We have to say yes to Krishna. Saying yes to Krishna's service is more important than saying no to Maya. The more we say yes to Krishna, automatically the effect of Maya will go away. Prabhupada writes, sometimes it is found that a person interested in spiritual advancement gives up the company of material society, goes to a secluded place. But that will not help a person in spiritual advancement. Yogis also fall down. Many examples are there. Vishwamitra Muni, Shobhari Muni. Prabhupada tells a funny story. There was a yogi. He would do his tapasya in Himalayas. And once a year, he would come down. And all the villagers, they would assemble to seek his blessings. He would not speak anything. He would just give blessings and go back. Very austere. One year, he came down and he saw nobody is there to welcome him. He was surprised. Where are they? Where are all the people? So he started looking far distance. Nobody's there. He climbed a tree. Nobody's there. Climbed higher, higher. He went up, 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 top of the branch, and the branch was weak. Branch broke. He fell down and he died. He became victim of pride. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has written a bhajan. Vaishnava ke. Dushtamana tumi kisera Vaishnava. Pratishthara tore nirjanera ghare sei hari Rama kevala kaitava. Just to get some fame, you're doing tapasya in a nirjan place, solitary place. It is all cheating bhajan. So Prabhupada writes about that. These jnanis, they fall down. Beginning of devotional service is to hear about the glories of the Lord. Vina harer guna piyushpanat. That is recommended. The more one drinks the nectar of Harikatha, the more one becomes detached from the material attachment. Mahaprabhu also recommends, if one wants to make advancement in spiritual life, by great fortune one meets a bona fide spiritual master. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Kripaye Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. After getting Bhakti Lata Bij, what one has to do? One has to water. Shravana Kirtana Jale Korai Sinchan. Then slowly the Bhakti Lata Bij will grow, become a little more bigger creeper, ultimately penetrates the covering of the universe, reaches spiritual world, and reaches the lotus feet of Krishna, takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord there. So that is how we have to take care of this Bhakti Lata Bij. And then Prabhupada writes, ISKCON is so made so that people can get this nectar of Harikatha. Okay, he continues. Ahimsaya paramahimsacharya smrityam kunda charitagrasidhuna yamaira kamai niyame chapya nindaya nirihaya dvandva titikshaya cha. Translation.
A candidate for spiritual advancement must be non-violent, must follow the footsteps of great acharyas, must always remember the nectar of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, must follow the regulative principles without material desire, and while following the regulative principles should not blaspheme others. A devotee should lead a very simple life and not be disturbed by the duality of opposing elements. He should learn to tolerate them.
Very powerful to-do list for all of us. Ahimsaya, non-violent. Paramahamsacharya, following the footsteps of great acharyas. Smritya, remember what? Mukunda architagrya sidhuna. The nectar pastimes of the Lord, remember. Then what? Yamaniyam, follow the rules and regulations without any desires. Don't develop material desires. Follow the rules and regulations. Then, anindaya. Oh, I am following. This devotee is not following. He is attached to sense gratification. Anindaya. No blasphemy. What else? Nidihaya. Live a simple life and tolerate the dualities. Dvandva titiksha. So these are the to-do list for a practicing sadhaka. It is not just for a Gyan Mishra Bhakta. A pure devotee is also the practitioner of pure devotee. Pure devotion is also supposed to do all these things. Chakravarti Thakur writes, Rati appears by practices leading to peace and by relishing the sweet, excellent pastimes of the Lord according to the conduct instructed by Guru. Prabhupada writes a wonderful purport here. The devotees are actually sadhu. First qualification of a sadhu is ahimsa. Ahimsa in the gross way is not killing, but in a more subtle way, ahimsa means stopping anyone's progress in further spiritual life by physically hurting them, by speaking something, or anything we do which obstructs a person from going ahead in spiritual life. That is himsa. Ahimsa means be careful. Persons interested in path of bhakti must first practice ahimsa. Titiksha, karunika, surida sarvadehinam, ajat shatrava shanta sadhavah sadhu bhushana. Kapiladev described the qualities of sadhaka bhaktas. If he suffers personal injury, he should tolerate it. If someone else suffers injury, devotee need not tolerate it. For me, I'll tolerate all the wrongs, but not for others. I'll not tolerate if somebody else is hurt. Devotee's first business is to stop violence. Prabhupada writes about animal slaughter, ahimsa. Then Acharyavan, the second word Prabhupada is elaborating on is Paramahamsa Charyaya, following the Acharyas. That is described as Acharyavan Purusho Vedo, follow the disciplic succession of the Acharyas. That is how the bhakti begins. That is how life begins. We learn from teachers. Spirituality also, bhakti also begins the same way. Tad vijnanardham sagurum eva abhigachet. Prabhupada has made this statement many times. Abhigachet means it is must. It is not an option. Maybe बिना उसके भी हो जाएगा क्या? नहीं. It is must. Smritya, Shravanam is very important. Remembering is more important. Remember. One should mold his life in such a way that one cannot remain alone without thinking of Krishna. Highest standard Prabhupada is giving here. While eating, sleeping, walking, working, we remain only in Krishna. So Prabhupada emphasizes all these wonderful concepts. Okay. Prabhupada writes, what is anindaya? One should not criticize other methods of religion. Very important. It is our natural tendency to criticize other paths, other religious systems. Anindaya means not criticizing other religious systems because different types of religious systems operate under different qualities of material nature. Please be very careful. These principles of bhakti and these Prabhupada's purports, they go beyond sectarian boundaries. This dharma, Hindutva, all these are rejected in Bhagavatam. This is a classic statement which supports that. Prabhupada, he would appreciate other religious paths for whatever they were doing. He writes, the different types of religious systems operate under different qualities of material nature. So we should never condemn other paths. In Bhagavad Gita, everything has been divided into three qualities, Sattva, Rajo and Tama. When people are mostly under Sattva, Rajogun and Tamogun, their religious system will also be of the same quality. Very important. Rather than criticizing other religious paths, we should try to stick to our own path more strongly. A devotee, instead of criticizing such systems, will encourage the followers to stick to their principles so that gradually they can come to the platform of goodness. Okay, whatever you are doing, please do it nicely. Prabhupada would always tell, oh, you are Christians, why are you killing? Jesus always said, thou shalt not kill. So Prabhupada always emphasized, okay, you're following a certain system of religion, please do it properly. Don't just speak. One person came to Prabhupada and asked, Swamiji, what's your opinion about Buddhism? Prabhupada answered something. Swamiji, what do you think about Jains? Prabhupada spoke something. Swamiji, what do you speak about this person? Prabhupada said, follow Buddha, follow Jesus, follow something, don't just speak. So people are interested in just speaking. Our job is to make them follow their system properly. That is Anindaya. And then Nirihaya, simple life, gentle, meek, simple. Prabhupada writes, Niriha means gentle, meek, simple. Plain living, high thinking. Okay, eating whatever is required. Prabhupada writes about that. 25th is a very beautiful verse. In this verse, Sanat Kumar describes hearing gives attachment to the Lord, detachment from matter. We'll take this verse and then we'll end. Hare, we'll recite this. Hare muhustat parakarna pura.
Hare
Hare muhustat parakarna pura.
Guna vidhanena vijrimbhamanaya.
Guna vidhanena vijrimbhamanaya.
Bhaktya sanga satasatyanatmani.
Sanga sadasatyanatmani.
Jnana ganir brahmani chanja sarati.
Nirgune brahmane chandrasarati.
The devotee should gradually increase the culture of devotional service by constant hearing of the transcendental qualities of Supreme Personality of Godhead. These pastimes are like ornamental decorations on the ears of devotees. By rendering devotional service and transcending the material qualities, one can easily be fixed in transcendence in the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Hare muhu tatpara karna pura. Muhu means constantly. By constantly hearing what? Guna abhidhanena. By constantly hearing and discussing the qualities of the Lord, Vijrimbhamanaya means by increasing Krishna consciousness, by discussing these wonderful pastimes of the Lord. You know, these pastimes, they are our real decoration of ears. A devotee does not decorate their ears by putting earrings or some wonderful ornaments. What is a decoration for devotees' ear? Tatvar Karnapura. Karnapur means decoration of the ear. Devotees' ears are always decorated with hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Gunabhidhanena, muhu, constantly decorated. It is not that sometimes you wear that ornament, sometimes you don't. Always wear the ornament. What will happen by wearing that ornament? Bhaktyahi asanga. Detachment from the sat, asat. Detachment from not just bad qualities. Detachment from the good things of the world. Because anything of this world is attaching, is binding. The devotee is not interested in any of this world, either good things or the bad things. Bhaktya sanga sadasati anatmani. And what else will happen? Same thing. Brahmani anjasa rati. Same thing which has come in the 22nd verse. Same words, I think they came there also. 21st verse. Dridharati brahmani nirgune chaya. Dridharati. Here also again same. Anjasarati Brahmani Nirgune. One will become detached from the world and become attached to Krishna. So that is the result of hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Gradually, the more one becomes attached to the Lord, one becomes detached from the matter. Prabhupada quotes this verse. If somebody is practicing this path of Bhagavad Bhajan, two things. He wants to cross the ocean of material world. Param param jigimasho bhavasagara sandarshanam vishainam yoshitam. Stay away from Vishay and Vishaya. So that is the understanding of this verse. Okay, so we'll stop here. Sanat Kumar will continue his instructions. Will continue in the next class. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada
Hare
ki
Krishna.
jai. Grantra Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.